Welcome, welcome once again to the weekly San Diego Brewers Guild Happy Hour at Home. I am Beth Demon. You can find me on Instagram at The Delighted Bite, but not currently because we are here today on behalf of the Guild. And I know I say this every single week, but literally, I think this might be the best week ever. Like, every single week gets better and better and better. We've got people from all over joining us today. We're going to kick things off with Battle Mage Brewing up in Vista. They're coming up on their 3-year anniversary, so we're going to check out what is going on with them. We also have some neighbors from the north. We're going to have the Los Angeles Brewers Guild on here as well. They're kind of going through some unique COVID struggles, Los Angeles County is, so we're going to check in with them and see what we can do to support our regional craft beer neighbors. Then we're going to kick things over to Brandon Montgomery. You might know him as at Black Beer Travelers or under the hashtag Diversify Your Palate. He put together a global map of diversely owned businesses, not just in beer, but wine shops, lifestyle brands, everything like that. And he's been getting some incredible press from that, which is obviously such an amazing initiative. So I'm really psyched to check in with him. And then we're going to wrap things up with the ladies at The Bountiful Bag. That is a San Diego-based like an upcycled line of goods that uses leftover products, things like malt bags from breweries, and kind of remakes them into something new. And they actually were on Pure Project. Their education director, Chris, the beer educator, as he is known online, he had them on his live stream last night. So hopefully we'll have a good follow-up conversation with them because they're always great to talk to. So without any further ado, let's get to the drinking. So today I've got one of San Diego's finest. I've got a Society IPA here, Good of the Public. It's 6.5%. It says it's crisp, light, and peachy. Peachy, I'm going to assume, is a flavor note from the hops and not like an actual addition, but we'll see. We'll see how peachy is peachy. Dang. Okay, so straight up, this beer has been out for a while, and I'm like way late in trying it, but that's like no joke one of the best IPAs I've had in a while. I mean, it's Society, so like kind of obvious, duh. But, like, I'm loving the new can design. I love that it's in cans. I mean, can we just take a minute to appreciate that Society is canning? I am so excited about that. So, yeah. Well, obviously we've got to have the really well-designed upside-down bottle. But, anywho, yeah. Highly recommend. 10/10. Would drink again. We'll be drinking this can. Also, it's really cold, which is amazing because it's 8 billion degrees outside right now. And I don't know if you guys, I've got like massive beach hair because I was at La Jolla Shores for hours today. So I'm like, oh, of course, the day that everybody chimes in is the day I'm going to look like totally disheveled. But anyway, you guys don't want to hear about how crazy my hair is. I am getting my first haircut in a year on the weekend, so it doesn't matter. Okay, but speaking of beer, I am super, super psyched because I am starting to see everybody talk about all the wet hop beers that are about to come out. I mean, it's a little early, but, people are kind of starting to take pictures in, like, hop farms and things like that. I'm, like, pretty jazzed on that. So I'm going to keep an eye out for, the stuff coming out from places like Nickel, out in Julian. I have no idea if the Wet Hop Festival that O'Brien's does is still happening this year. I mean, I want to say no, but, like, maybe? I don't know. People love wet hop beers. I'm going to try to drink them somewhere, and if it's at O'Brien's, fantastic. But on that note, I do have to say I'm still seeing like a ton of like front of house workers reporting about how like a ton of jabronis are coming in and just like acting like fools and not tipping and not wearing masks and not respecting social distancing. So it's like, if you can't hang with like some mutual community respect, just like don't go out. Don't go drink the wet hot beers when they come out. Don't go to Society's tap. Just stay home or like get it stuff to go. Just, and if there's any potential buttheads watching this who just like have a problem wearing a mask or think it's a conspiracy or something, you can just go ahead and send me a message at The Delighted Bite. Feel free, and we can have a dialogue about it. But let's just like try to be a little bit cooler and more respectful of our neighbors. But Anyway, some news. I'm excited because my colleague and friend, Brandon Hernandez, many of you might know him as one of the prominent beer writers around town. He's been in the game for years and years and years. He just launched a new San Diego beer news site, literally called San Diego Beer News. It's San Diego Beer .news is the website. So be sure to check that out. He's, the king of scoops. I don't think I've ever broken a story. Maybe I've broken like 2 stories in my entire life before he has. He's got his finger on the pulse of everything San Diego beer. So do be sure to check that out as a great new resource as far as San Diego beer news goes. And I did mention Chris the Beer Educator. That is his handle on Instagram. He also launched a new live stream show, and it is going, a new episode is going live tonight at 6 p.m. So, feel free to check back in and check that out because he is a absolute wealth of knowledge. So he is a great person to check out as well on Instagram Live. Couple more things. The Mujeres Brew House in Barrio Logan looks like they've got their application up in the window and they are ready to go. I know we had initially reported that they were shooting for an August 1 open date, but I mean, obviously, who's ever opened on the day that they've said they were going to? Literally no one. So be sure to keep in touch with everything that's going on at Mujeres, and I'm psyched that it's gonna open pretty soon. So also, I know that everybody, obviously it's wildfire season. Luckily, we here in Southern California aren't going through it like they are up in places like Sonoma currently, knock on wood. So if you are so inclined to help out our neighbors, our beer neighbors in affected areas, now would be a great time to order some beer. It's ridiculous what you can get shipped to your house nowadays. Apparently there's no rules or anything like that. So shoot, if Russian River can keep things going, it's sort of a win-win. So that's kind of the vibe I'm trying to put out for this week's episode, is that local beer is fantastic, and obviously we should support it as much as possible. But once we kind of expand our borders and think more regionally or things like that, that would be extremely cool to think about. So yeah, maybe try some new beers from places that are a little bit up north and are affected by the horrible wildfires. So, but bringing things back here to San Diego, if you are spending money, please do consider helping to financially support the San Diego Brewers Guild and our mission to help, in turn support the local independent craft beer community. The Brewers Guild did just launch a brand new merch line called America's Finest Beer. It is now available on the Brewers Guild website, sdbeer.com. You can either go to shop.sdbeer.com or go to sdbeer.com and then click shop. Either way, we'll get you there. But check out some of that new merch that the Guild has made available. And, proceeds do go back to help support the local San Diego beer community that we know and love so much. So moving right along, if you do have any questions for the Guild specifically, please do email them info@sdbeer.com. Somebody always replies as quickly as they possibly can. And before we bring on the first guest, which is Battle Mage, please remember that this is interactive, so you can feel free to leave a comment, ask a question. I feel like people are now all like starting to request to be on the video, like just random people who aren't guests, and that's hilarious, but I don't know, do what you gotta do. I think that's pretty funny. So I'm gonna see if Battle Mage is on. Hi everybody. I love everybody like just waving and saying hi. It's so great to see the people who show up every single week and new people every single time as well. So, all right, Battle Mage, I see you on there. I'm going to add you. So, I know I'm like 30 seconds early, but I run a tight ship around here. Hi.
Hello. How we doing?
I'm doing great. Am I drinking alone? Do you have a beverage?
I have one of our mini halfling 8-ounce.
You got the cutie. I didn't know anybody in San Diego was doing that.
Yeah, this is something that we started releasing every other week, basically. It's like our barrel-aged beers or high-alcohol beers. So this one is a Negroni gin cocktail, barrel-aged alt beer.
I would like to drink that.
It's super unique. We still have some. It's not available currently. We're going to kind of spread out the release of it a little bit, but it's been a good way to release the barrel aged beers where it's not, you know, a 750 mil that you're like, I'm just gonna drink this by myself, you know, at
Yeah.
2 in the afternoon or whatever.
Very
Nothing wrong.
smart. And I mean, you know, I love me a good Labyrinth, David Bowie reference. So that's always a big selling point. But I feel like we got ahead of ourselves. Could you do a quick intro of
Yes.
who you are and who you're with?
Yeah. So my name's Chris. I'm one of the owners, brewers, accountants, janitors of Battle Mage Brewing Company. Super small operation out of Vista. We're approaching our 3-year anniversary. I know Ryan is the other owner. He's on here too. I don't think he knew I had stashed this can away, but
Aha.
he'll forgive me. Um, but yeah, we had a lot of people kind of asking about the anniversary because it's in May, right? So it kept getting pushed back, pushed back. It's probably going to be closer to the 4-year anniversary before we're able to do like a full-on event.
Right.
So we're kind of doing it digital this year. So we'll kind of do like a Facebook Live toast, and we got a new rotating 4-pack that we're releasing of the IPA, which we just started doing 16-ounce cans. Again, super small quantities available. We'll also do the next Goblin King, which is going to be, it's like a stout blend. So it was a milk stout and an imperial stout, aged in a single malt whiskey barrel from our neighbors Henneberry, who some people may be familiar with, but it's a whiskey distillery that's like in the same building as us. So good neighbors to have to get some barrels going.
Yeah.
But we put our old ale in that barrel after we had emptied out the stout. So it's kind of like a blend. It's probably the best one we've done. So as you can see, this is Goblin King 17. We've done 18, 19. For the anniversary, it's going to be number 20.
Excellent.
Stuff. And we're doing a pre-sale for that on our website. So pre-sale ends on the 20, or wait, it's at the end of this week. So
okay,
go on.
Today.
Today is the 28th, I think.
Today's the 26th. Friday is the 28th.
Saturday.
Right. Got it. All right.
But basically,
so the trick is it's almost done. Like you're almost at
it. We're doing pre-sale only for it. So there's going to be any just walk up, and it's available to get like the T-shirt and the 4-pack, and we have an insulated tote bag, our Battle Mage branded bag of holding, which is a D&D reference. But
yeah, we're gonna rewind. Not to worry.
Yeah. So yeah, it's available on our website for pre-order, ending at the end of the week, either Friday or Saturday. I'll post about it, or Ryan will mention it here, and I'll update it. But yeah, it seems like a good way. I mean, people are super supportive of us through this whole thing, just coming up and getting to-go beers. And they just kept asking, like, hey, when are you guys going to do it? And it's like, oh, maybe next month. And we're like, well, let's just do it this way.
Yeah, I think we've all just sort of been like, all right, maybe tomorrow's not coming. Let's just pretend like it is and plan for that. And if it shows up, then great. Like, I'm ready.
Yeah, exactly. You know, just take it one day at a time, really, and do what you can. So, but yeah, it's been really, really cool to see the outpouring of support that we've had from our customer base. We do basically for the anniversary, it's like we did a level 1 shirt for our first year, level 2 shirt for the second year. And people are like, where's that level 3 shirt? And there couldn't just not be one. So,
right. Well, so we've already talked about, D&D. We've talked about Labyrinth. So, I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of being a nerd, you guys are like 873, which is awesome.
That's fair to say.
I'm more of like a Studio Ghibli cosplayer nerd, which is like a whole other realm that we can like talk about secretly.
We cover all kinds, but yeah, for sure.
So talk to me about people like your brand. I feel like you've got your like super hardcore, like people who know you, they love you, like they're asking for that level 3 shirt. How would you describe your brand to somebody who it's new to them? They don't know who you are.
So our whole theme's kind of like high fantasy. So anything like Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones. We have a throne that one of our patrons built for us.
That's a
Game of Thrones reference, replica throne. But the whole idea was kind of to create a community based around the love of fantasy and craft beer, which, some of us, including myself, are sometimes super awkward when it comes to like social outings, but beer definitely helps.
Yep.
But to get together and talk to other people about like those hardcore nerdy things without being judged about it is something that we really appreciate. And that's kind of the hardcore community based around
Hmm.
our. But you know, in the end, the quality of the beer is the most important part. So people definitely come in and have no idea what they're walking into. We have swords on the wall, Magic the Gathering cards. People are playing board games and role playing as like a dwarf warrior, and people are like, "What is going on?" They
Hmm.
try like, "Okay, cool, I can hang out and have a couple beers." Um, so yeah, it's we were going for kind of like a medieval modern castle with our design. So it's a cool spot. Can't wait for it to be filled with patrons again, but it's it remains cool.
That's awesome. Well, I love when people, I have to disagree on one point that you made is the quality of the beer is number one, and I obviously think that I mean if you have shitty beer I'm not going to go, but
Right.
I love the thought of you making it like a safe place for a specific subculture of people, a specific genre of people, and like if you're outside of that you're still welcome. Like you don't have to be a D&D person to come and enjoy it. And I just think that making those types of places for people who might be uncomfortable in other like social situations is that to me is almost if not more important equally as important as the quality of the beer. So the fact that you guys are kind of attacking it on both, covering both bases is incredible.
Yeah. No, I mean it's cool to see that for just the D&D campaign that we run, that we're on the second campaign, obviously on hiatus, but it was running for like 11 months straight, where people would come in every day of the week and play the D&D campaign. But a lot of those people have stayed connected on a Discord that we have, where they talk about their characters and they role play and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really great to see that those games are still happening. They're just happening remotely now.
Mm-hmm.
But some really, really tight friendships have happened because of that. So it's super cool. They're still super active and very supportive of us too. But yeah, like you were saying, you know, the beer is definitely important. Creating that community is awesome. But it was super cool to see people come in and like, everyone knows Game of Thrones, right?
Sure.
So people come in and be kind of like looking around, and they'd see the throne and be like, "Oh, Game of Thrones! Like, can I sit there and take a picture?" And it's like, of course, that's what it's there for. So, and they kind of get behind it, and you know, rarely did we see any kind of like judgment of like, wow, these guys are like super nerdy. It was more like impressed about how nerdy we were
Yeah.
getting. So yeah, it was cool, but super super fun customer base. Sometimes certain things that they would talk about, like I didn't know per
Mm-hmm.
se, but they would find someone at the bar that knew just as much about it, and they would just like connect, which was awesome to see. So
Oh yeah. Yeah, it just starts with D&D. Like there's a million other like just tendrils of
oh
subculture
yeah,
that go like anybody who's like outside the like fantasy world at all has no idea. Like there's literally something for everybody and it's awesome.
yeah, exactly. So, and we always like stream video games on our TVs, so people would come in and be like, "Man, I'm glad there isn't just like sports on TV right now." It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, we'd put on like the Super Bowl for the most part, like any major events, but other than that, it was pretty much just video game streaming, and people are like, "Oh, can you put on this like streamer? I love watching this guy." So,
Which I personally appreciate because if football never came back, I would be completely fine with that. But that's just my personal opinion.
yeah.
But you mentioned, I just out of curiosity, you mentioned that it's kind of a small system that you guys are working on. How big? What size is your brew house?
So our brew house is 5 barrel, and then we have three 10 barrel fermenters and two 20 barrel fermenters.
Okay.
So to fill those guys up, we were quad batching, which we haven't done in a bit. But when like distribution was going full steam, we would fill those up every like couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So right now we cut back to just doing 5 barrel batches in our 10 barrel fermenters, which works. We just use a little bit more CO2 when we're doing it, but to maintain super fresh beers. So like our IPAs are never going over like a month and a half, which is good.
Ideal. Yeah. Well, just one last question before we unfortunately have to wrap up. Where can people keep up with everything that's going on at Battle Mage?
So if you check out our Instagram, that's where we definitely post the most stuff. We have weekly rotating beer of the week, which is a $5 crowler, we'll roll the dice for it to see which one it is. So, um, and then we do random one-offs as well that we post on there when they're available. This week it's chocolate cherry divine light, which is kind of like super light beer with organic cherry puree, and then we put some toasted cocoa nibs in there, but it's like super small, like a single keg of it. Grapefruit one last week. So Instagram's definitely the best spot to kind of check us out.
Awesome. Well, we will definitely be following up with that. But thank you so much for checking in. I might be coming up to get some of those cutie little cans pretty soon. So.
Well, thanks for having us.
All right. Cheers for now.
Right.
Later.
Cheers.
All right. That was the folks over at Battle Mage up in Vista. Yeah, I've never played D&D. I want to a lot, but I just haven't ever had enough time. So maybe this is like going to be my new COVID hobby. But anyway, we could talk about that all day long. Let's see if the Brewers Guild is on here. It looks like they are. I love it. We're going to keep things going quick, fast paced. We're on a schedule here. Yes. Okay. This is the perfect.
Did we say Ghibli cosplay? Because Beth, I'm doing this for you. I'm sweating right now.
I have like a Totoro onesie, and I'm like, I'm looking around the room as though it's like behind. I'm like, dang it! I love that you ran to go get that.
I bolted to my room and I was like, honey, go get my Totoro onesie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No.
Which I will have to take off now because I'm sweating my butt off. Down here, up here. I'm up from you. I don't know geographically where Los Angeles is anymore.
Okay. I'm just so excited. This started off like 10 out of 10. But could you do a intro of who you are and who you represent?
Hi, I'm Frances Lopez, aka Franny Full Pint, and I'm the executive director of the Los Angeles County Brewers Guild.
So I am definitely that we didn't get to run into each other at this year's California Craft Beer Summit because it didn't happen, and week is like everything's not happening. So this is
all the times where I get to see your face. I haven't been able to see anybody's face, sadly. So
I know.
It's good to see you now.
Well, so talk to me. I mean, really, we wanted to have you on here to talk about the guild because, obviously everybody is going through some shit with COVID, but it seems like the stuff that's happening in Los Angeles is like, it's gone to 11. Like it's worse there than it is in any other county in California. So could you give a little background on what's going on?
Absolutely. So, as everybody knows, March 14th for us in LA was the day where everything shut back down. And for a while, we were just kind of rolling with the punches, right? We were like, okay, these are the cards that we've been dealt. We're in a pandemic. We're all in this together. We will do whatever is asked of us during this time, even if it means kind of scrimping and, having to lay everybody off and all of the not nice things that happens when we, have to shut our businesses down, right? So in June, we were one of the last counties in June during the phase 2 reopening to be able to have brewery tap rooms open for dine-in outdoors as long as there was a meal provided. And that lasted in Los Angeles County for 18 days before they rolled into phase 3. So we're like, oh, we're in phase 3. Things are looking up. That means that we can open our tap rooms, at a capacity, but not have to sell a meal as part of the purchase. That lasted 10 days, and then we were shut right back down. But instead of rolling us back to any semblance of phase 2, which the rest of the state was in, Los Angeles County explicitly wrote out that we could not partner with third-party food vendors. And, we kind of, moaned about that for a few minutes and thought, okay, maybe we'll wait a few weeks to see if the numbers come down and maybe, we'll align with the state order like every other county in California. It's been about 60 days now, and our tap rooms have been closed. We haven't been able to partner with food trucks, food vendors, and we're hitting that point now where something has to happen. Some sort of relief needs to come, or we're going to start seeing people close their doors. So we launched a campaign this week to try to advocate on our behalf because we had stayed quiet for almost 2 months, just, following the rules and trying our best to be, good businesses and practice, safety and do all of the things. But at this point, we're looking around and we're seeing, jam-packed sidewalks with outdoor dining and we have literally thousands of square feet at our disposal in our industrial spaces outdoors where we could do things, very well and very safely. And we're just trying to get the LA County Board of Supervisors to recognize that and work with us on a solution that will reopen our tap rooms.
Well, and I'm just confused, like, what makes LA any different than everywhere else that has had that exception carved out? I mean, we're in Southern California. We've got, 360 days a year where we can be outside and it's no problem. Like, what makes LA any different than any other place, from what you understand, from what the legislators are telling you?
It really just boils down to not understanding what a brewery is versus what, a traditional nightclub bar situation is. They have this, picture in their head of people shoulder to shoulder, not being able to, move around. And, anyone tuning into the Brewers Guild, Instagram Live right now would know that, you don't see breweries open past 11 most weekends. You don't really, it's not that we're antisocial, but we also like to have our personal space when we're in a tap room.
Right.
We need to be able to raise a pint to our face. And it's just one of those things where all of those, pictures aside, all we need to do is set a guideline and follow that. And we've been more than willing to do that. If it's 6 feet of space for a normal restaurant and they want us to bring 10 feet of space, we're absolutely game to do that. At this point, we're practically begging for them to give us some sort of direction, some light at the end of the tunnel that would allow us to at least bring in a quarter of what our normal sales on a summer day is. And it's been brutal in Los Angeles because unlike, more established communities like San Diego and San Francisco, we're still pretty new in the game. Our guild is turning 7 years old when I believe San Diego Brewers Guild was founded 20 plus years ago, right? Something like that. And, our oldest breweries, with the exception of 2 breweries that are in their 20s, our oldest brewery is 9 years old. And so we are babies in the grand scheme of things. And so for us, we don't have a lot of the larger established, household names to kind of lobby and advocate for ourselves here. So we've just been really having to push, the narrative of what LA Brewers are, because, to a lot of people, we're no different than a bar or a cocktail bar or a nightclub.
Right. And so, I mean, we in San Diego have had 3, maybe 4 breweries closed since March. And I would, from my understanding, that was kind of like COVID was the last straw. Like, it wasn't the only thing that caused these closures. But has that started to happen yet? Or are you saying like you guys are really just on the cusp of okay, it's getting to be a make or break situation?
For us, we've only seen one official closure during the time of COVID, which was a business that was a little bit, on its way out already, kind of considering their options at that point.
Right.
And so COVID was, the straw that broke the camel's back. Oddly enough, we have been onboarding brand new breweries. We have onboarded 3 new members with 2 more on the way this month. And it's because, as anyone knows in the industry, it takes years for you to plan your brewery, get the funding, the equipment, the permitting, and all of that. And they've been working on these brewery plans for the last 2, 3, 4 years. Mm-hmm. And they're now sitting on real estate and equipment and ingredients and no tap room. So they're like, okay, well, we're paying rent now because we don't have a moratorium on business evictions here right now. Landlords are still asking people to pay their full mortgages and rent. And so a lot of these businesses are forced to open without any sort of brand building, no tap room, no marketing piece, except for maybe some of them got savvy with Instagram leading up to them opening, but the majority of them are still kind of shooting, it's a shot in the dark for them. And so it's kind of scary because you have businesses who are terrified of being dead on arrival. Right when they first release their first 2 beers, they're like, nobody knows who we are, but we have to do something to make some money.
Yeah. Well, what can we as a San Diego beer community do to support the Los Angeles beer community right now?
All we ask from our friends in San Diego is to consider jumping onto our website at labrewersguild.org and clicking on the Save LA Brewers blog post that we have. And if you have a moment to spare, just clicking on the links to the Board of Supervisors. It's literally a one-click process. You click on each one. It's a pre-written email. You can modify it however you see fit. Hit send, and that would hopefully help, get a little bit more attention our way. That's pretty much it. We've got the Save LA Brewers posts going up on our Instagram page every day. We're targeting a different district every day till Friday, and hopefully in the next, few weeks, few days, they'll want to play ball with us and collaborate with us, because we're not fighting, the government. We're not trying to make a big statement about that. It's just, right. We're trying to ask, hey, how can you help us stay in business? We want to do this right. We want to be responsible. And we want you to remember that we're also small business owners in your county.
Absolutely. Well, we will be sure to be posting some links and stuff to that after this. But I wish we had more time. I wish it was under better circumstances, but it was great to see you. And thank you so much for jumping on. We certainly wish you the best of luck, and hopefully we'll be able to see you and raise a glass soon.
Cheers. Thank you so much, everyone.
Cheers. All right. That was Franny over from the LA Brewers Guild. So we will be posting some info after this, so that if you are inclined to help our neighbors up north, it takes literally a second and one click. So we wish them the best for sure. But we are going to keep things going with Brandon, aka Black Beer Travelers. I'm very excited to talk to. I always like talking to Brandon. Get my sip in. Hey, there he is. I was wondering what the shirt was gonna be.
Yeah, got in the mail today. The official MLS pre-warm up jersey shirt, the Black Lives Matter, for when they came back. So I was just like, I had to throw that one on real quick and represent for MLS, and especially with the NBA the way it is today.
If you can't get a Magic or a Bucks jersey, like soccer will work for sure.
Oh yeah.
All right, what you got drinking? What you drinking over there?
I was wearing the matching shirt, but I got the Space Ace sipping from Bill Street Brewing Company out in Memphis, Tennessee. So it's another black-owned brewery. They're doing contract brewing, so they're just beginning, and this is a pretty cool collaboration with some notable Southern hip hop rappers known as 8 Ball and MJG.
Sweet. Well, I mean, speaking of drinking beer from other places, I mean, it says it in the handle, Black Beer Travelers. I mean, yeah. You've been all over the world. You are still traveling for, I guess, business and pleasure right now. Mm-hmm. So talk to me a little bit about the kind of what your handle, your brand, like what you're doing, the work you're doing. Little bio on you for those for people who might not know you.
Yeah, so Brandon Montgomery. I started out this craft beer adventure back in 2011 on travel to Japan. Got introduced to like the Belgian styles, and since then I've been big into craft beer. And so about 2 years ago, or I think so, I decided to actually go full out and like make an Instagram page, social media, products, and so forth to really showcase the achievement of diverse people in craft beer, and also to help increase the number of people that would be interested or may enjoy craft beer. So I like personally travel around, meeting up with people. I've recently done some collaborations with some different breweries, and really just kind of just learning more about the brand and how to connect people so we could like better like change the face of craft. And so craft looks like it's normally diverse, and not like it's a special one-off black-owned brewery here, black-owned brewery there. It's more or less, it's just assumed that everybody has a mixture in this.
Well, so, you've been all over the world and the country exploring craft beer in a bunch of different places. And somebody, San Diego, a lot of people, we all have traveled and gone to other places and tried beer in other places. But do we deserve how does San Diego stack up to other places? Like, do we deserve the name, the capital of craft? Like, where do you think that we stand in that right now?
Truthfully, San Diego has some really good beer. It's hard to contend against San Diego when the number of breweries we have is like larger than most states.
Yeah.
Uh, and so we have a little bit more ability to like do more here in San Diego and have a nice range of like large scale breweries like Stone to like medium size, L Smith, and then coming in between that and still with national distribution. So truthfully, it's sometimes it's hard to go to other cities and enjoy beer as much when I know I have so much at home.
Mm.
But there are always some standouts that like really make different cities like those notable places to go. I know like Chicago has Revolution. New York actually is like New York City is very dense.
Mhm.
There's some really good breweries for like the small size of what's in New York. So it's it's a lot of places that you may not necessarily know, but there's some strong breweries in those locations.
Yeah, it's not just the Portlands, the Denvers, the San Diego.
Hmm.
There's lots of gems, anywhere. I mean, it probably would be hard to find a place nowadays where there isn't at least one craft brewery available.
Right. But San Diego definitely like takes the reins when it comes to like ability to brew so many different styles. So like from stout to wild, mixed culture fermentations, it's like and like traditional lagers.
Mhm.
You can't go many places and find somewhere where they still can lagers on a craft scale, but you can here in San Diego.
And I'm very excited about that. I do have kind of a left turn question, just for my own personal curiosity. So your handle is Blackbeard Travelers. Do you
Hmm.
know Fortuna, who has Blackbeard Traveler?
I do. I know her. Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, we did a lot of craft beer drinking back when I first moved to San Diego. And from there, uh, we had our ins and outs. We don't spend too much time next to each other these days, but there was a past there.
Okay. I was just curious because I was just like, okay, you're both in San Diego. You're like the same handle. I was like, they've got to at least message each other and been like, hey, what's up? Like,
Yep.
what's up with my brand? So anyway, just out of curiosity. So, well, you mentioned that you've been doing some collaborations recently. Could you talk a
Yeah.
little bit about those?
So back in July, I went down to Jay Wakefield to kind of hop on the Unity brews that he did with the brew brother Pat Hop from Forager and like Isla Street and a few other breweries, and so like supported the stouts and the like the Patriots sour. What was initially going to be like a 4 day trip to Miami back turned into a road trip in which I was just hanging out with James from Pastor Hops, and we were doing collaborations from Jay Wakefield, Three Sons, Hidden Springs. Where else did we stop by? Um, and then just a lot of like just talking to people and like networking.
Yeah.
Up until we made our way to Atlanta. I got on a flight to come back here, and he just proceeded to do some more collaboration. So that was actually a lot of fun to actually like support some brews, actually like see the other side of craft, the industry side where you're actually doing representation for breweries, and instead of just working in a tap room here in San Diego.
Well, in Atlanta, that's another place that it's like go on fire. Like
Hmm.
I would love to go drink some beer in Atlanta. Maybe not in August, but
Yeah.
like October. I would love to be there in October.
Oh yeah, you just got a big package from Jason at Orpheus, right?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was pretty psyched on that. So, yeah, I've been relying a little bit more on beer mail versus beer travel right now. But yeah, those were all. I don't think there was anything in there under like 12%. So I was just like, oh, good lord, I've got to really take some time to be ready for
Yeah.
these.
Luckily, there's a small format bottles, but they still pack a punch. I'm a big fan of Orpheus and their stout game and some of their mixed fermentation. So yeah.
Well, real quick, we got to wrap it up, but I know that you've got a couple things coming up where people could tune in and maybe see some of the stuff that you've been working on. Could you talk about some of the things that people might be able to tune into in the near future?
Yes, the next upcoming thing is San Diego Design Week. I'll be on a panel to speak on the food and beverage industry from the diverse perspective. It's going to be myself, um, Lauren from San Diego Melanin, the head chef and owner of Louisiana Purchase, and I think there's one other young lady just speaking on our experiences in like the food and service beverage industry. And so that is on September 12th at I believe 1 p.m. You could actually sign up. It's a free like virtual attendance for San Diego Design Week. They have an entire week of activities. So that's the next thing that I'm really going to be on doing. And
Oh, we got a little frozen. There we go.
check out the Instagram, the Facebook, and oh yeah, I think my phone's automatically set to like
It's fine.
anyway. Yeah, September 12th, San Diego Design Week. Check out the Instagram or I believe the actual webpage, san diego designweek.com, and you'll see a lot of the things that are going on around San Diego. And yeah,
Sweet. Well, yeah, you send me the info on that, so I'll be sure to repost it for anybody who wants to tune in. But thank you so much for joining us. I guess actually I'll see you on Zoom next Thursday for the inclusion committee meeting. But you know.
I got another thing I need to be working on. Yeah.
And we'll check in with you then. But thanks so much for hopping on this. It was great to see you, and I'll check in with you later.
Yeah, have a good one.
All right. Bye bye. There we go. That was Brandon from Black Beer Travelers, but we are going to wrap things up with the wonderful ladies of the Bountiful Bag. And it looks like, so Theo, I see you on here. Am I supposed to add you or is it supposed to be the Bountiful Bag? Because I can add either one. Let me see. I appreciate everyone's patience. Well, I'll just request, who did I just request? Yeah. I'll just request Theo, and if it's not right, then just say no, and I'll request somebody else. Oh, okay, this was right. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if this was going to be the right one. Dude, okay, so I was really close to wearing that Black Lives Matter shirt, because I have the same one. I just didn't wear it today. But I'm like, I mean, a Black Sabbath, Black Lives Matter mashup, like, yeah, I'm going to get that, like, for sure.
Totally.
So before we get too far into it, can you each introduce yourselves and give me a little background on the Bountiful Bag?
Okay, so hi all. My name is Fio, and I'm co-founder of Bountiful Bag. I'm also a designer.
Then I'm Romy, and I do the marketing. I'm co-founder, and I do marketing.
And you guys are sisters, which I think is important to note, because
Yes.
we have had discussions on here before with people who work with their siblings, and I'm just like, no, thank you. I will not be doing that. So I respect anybody who can handle that so much.
So that's why we're not wearing a mask. We really live together. You got our beer?
I got the bottle today. I'm so excited.
Cheers!
Cheers. So this is something you guys participated in the global movement. Black is Beautiful. We talked a little bit about it. Could you talk about your participation, because it is a little bit different than some of the other ones?
Yeah, so we decided to work with Tyler Potter. He is an amazing home brewer, and he's also the brewer for Pure Project.
Mm-hmm.
One of the brewers for Pure Project. And we've been his friend for a while now. Theo used to work with him at Wild Barrel back in the day. And we've honestly been waiting for an excuse to partner up with him and brew something with him, because he's amazing. So when it all came up, we decided to hit him up, and he was all about it. And we did a homebrew. So we realized that because it's a homebrew, we're not able to sell it in order to try to get proceeds for the cause.
Mm-hmm.
So we are doing it more as an awareness thing. We're sharing it with friends. We're encouraging people to make donations on their own, and hopefully, inspire people to support this cause regardless if they can buy the beer or not. But yeah, we just want to share with friends, and we tried it yesterday for the first time with Chris, the beer educator, when we went live with him, and it was amazing. So yeah, we're excited.
Yeah, and I mean anything Pure Project. I mean their bar, their standard, you know, their bar of excellence is just so high. So I cannot wait to crack this open. It was on my porch, so I was like, okay, I got to get it cold, but it was like I had to run up here, so I'm looking forward to cracking open this Imperial Oat Coffee Porter that's 8.1%. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. But so you guys, I mean, this is not the only, by far not the only thing that you guys have participated in, just in terms of like philanthropic or charitable, or I mean your entire business is built on upcycle and reducing waste and sustainability. So talk a little bit about your vision and you know, your history and where you go from here.
So basically our mission is to rescue as much plastic waste as we can. We started tackling all the grain bags that beer produces here in San Diego, because we're the city where we live. And we also work with a few of LA breweries. We take their grain bags after beer production and convert them into very durable, sturdy products. We line them with fabric, use other like really sturdy materials to make and put them all together. Mm-hmm. And yeah, they're great products, are really long lasting, and we're just trying to create awareness and make sure that everyone knows how to recycle properly and what is recyclable, what is not, and the awareness of the amount of plastic, and just be more conscious in our everyday
unfortunately, the grain bags are not recyclable, so everybody that is putting them in the blue bin, in the end, those end up in the landfill, which was a really hard truth for us to find out, and it was an eye-opener. Mm-hmm. So that's how we became so dedicated about at least trying to upcycle as much as we can and rescue as much as we can. Then we kind of started working with banners too from festivals. So we've done a few products with banners from Collabapalooza and Warped Tour, and like really, really fun collections. So
well, and you guys have a new collection for this. Talk to me about that.
Yes. So the color palette of the collection is inspired on the label and also on the Black Lives Matter movement colors, which are black, white, and yellow. We use those colors, and yeah, the orange, rust, and the yellow come from a Collabapalooza gigantic banner. Velvet is left over from a curtain company that donated to us. Mm-hmm. The that you see is from a surf competition in Huntington Beach that just left them after they finished surfing, just bailed. Yeah. And of course, we incorporated silver. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Silver is from Yakima Chief hops, widely used not only in San Diego but everywhere. Very popular OG hop company.
And it looks so cool.
It looks beautiful. That looks. Mesh is from a promotional banner from Warped Tour, and then some of this line you might recognize. Craft Beard.
Yeah.
Amy.
Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, that's.
You guys are, I mean, you're picking it up from all over the place. I mean, you know, trash has no place in the Bountiful Bag world. It is all treasure.
Seriously, this, for example, is something that Miss Adventure at Distillery in Vista, which is actually we are right now, because I work here. They saved this for us to make. This is from coconut shell charcoal, and they were using to filter their hand sanitizer. So made a bunch of products with that too for this collection. So, and
I mean, it's sturdy as hell. I've got one of your bags, and I mean, it is like not. Those things are built to be solid. You know, like they're holding hundreds of pounds of malt and stuff like that. Like they aren't gonna rip. Like this is serious stuff. So if they're not gonna rip, they're certainly not going to decompose in a landfill.
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
Well, where can people find your stuff and find out more about what you're doing and buy some of this stuff?
So we are very active on Instagram, unfortunately, right now, and you'll see the message later. We were trying to log in through, we couldn't see your live stream with the Bountiful Bag for some reason.
Were you on a computer?
On an iPad.
And
so, and then from our phones too. We tried everything from the Bountiful Bag account, and it was not able to pick up the live stream anymore. So we went into Fio's account as an emergency.
Well, I think they'll just say no if this isn't right. I don't know.
So anyway, it's no big deal, but you can find us at the Bountiful Bag That's our Instagram. We're on Facebook. We have a website, thebountifulbag.com. Feel free to message us. You know, we can always do lots of fun things. Anything custom. Yeah, like it's really,
Or
really
get in touch with you if somebody's like, hey, I'm at a brewery, I have a bajillion grain bags, like, yeah, let's talk, let's set up that connection. That would be awesome.
we can definitely do that. Yeah, so feel free to reach out to us. Something very important before we run out of time that we wanted to really make a point to say is that our current collection is we are donating a portion of the proceeds from the Black is Bountiful collection to a nonprofit called Embrace Race that helps educate children to be more thoughtful and brave and accepting about race. So that's where our proceeds are, part of our proceeds are going, and we wanted to make sure that people know that, because as we are the Bountiful Bag, we're always partnering up with nonprofits, and we love to help out.
Definitely. Actually, I saw that. I started following them after I watched you on Chris's show last night, and I went down a total wormhole because I have a 3-year-old, so I'm like, oh yeah, definitely, follow this person, follow that person. So yeah, if you guys don't follow at Embrace Race, it's tip top stuff. So thank you for sharing that. But we will be sure to be posting links to all of your stuff. I really appreciate you guys checking in. I look forward to seeing you IRL soon. It would be so great to see you guys.
We want to
Thank you so much.
I hope you enjoy the beer.
I'm so psyched. And anybody who, you know, is lucky enough to get one of these bottles, please do consider making a donation to a charity of your choice, donate, or that is dedicated to equity, and particularly in perhaps police reforms. You know, just my own thoughts there. But thank you so much for checking in with us, and we will see you soon.
All right. Thank you, Beth. Thank you for having us. Cheers.
Of course. Cheers. All right. Those were the ladies at The Bountiful Bag. And so if you haven't checked them out, find them on Instagram at The Bountiful Bag, or on their website, where you can pick up a ton of awesome merch. I mean, it's seriously so sturdy, so durable, and it's all keeping stuff out of landfills, which is like, I mean, give me a break. That's awesome. So anywho, I'm looking at my list. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, did we have anything else to talk about? I feel like that was an amazing show. Every single person on there was so great. Every time I wish I had more than 10 minutes. I feel like we're just like speed reading through all of these awesome things. So, but anyway, until next week. And then, you know, who knows? That next week is going to be great too. We do this every single Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific time, obviously, because we're in San Diego. I am Beth Demon. You can find me at The Delighted Bite. But this here is the San Diego Brewers Guild Instagram account. So if you have a question for them, feel free to DM them here. If you would like to be a future guest, please do reach out. We are always looking forward to having new voices on the show every single week. So until then, Black Lives Matter, drink local independent craft beer, and stay cool. Cheers. See you next week.